Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Hey wife, did you know that Anchor is sponsoring our show?
Really? Don't we use Anchor to distribute our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts?
Yeah, and we are on just about every other platform available as well, thanks to them.
Why do we use Anchor as our podcasting service?
Well, they make editing and distributing our show a breeze.
What if one of our listeners wants to start their own podcast?
Then they should head over to anchor.fm or download the app to get started.
Awesome! You guys should go do that right now! Husband!
Wife!
Do you remember what happened on Friday?
There was a certain prophet?
There was a certain prophet.
I'm not certain who he was, though.
It probably was not Elijah or Elisha.
I'm actually completely uncertain about who he was.
I'm certain that I don't care.
So also somebody got eaten by a lion.
Somebody got eaten by a lion, and then also the king was supposed to kill somebody, but he didn't, and the Lord was like, you were supposed to kill him.
Right.
And so then dude went home, what was the word? Sullen.
Yeah.
He was sullen.
Right.
And angry.
And now the king dude, it's Ahab, right?
I think it's Ahab.
Ahab's gonna pay a price for not killing some dude or something.
Yeah. And it's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be bad, yeah.
Because murder is good. God loves a good murder.
I guess that's the way it seems to me.
I said kill him and you didn't. So
right, yeah.
You're bad.
Weird shit, right?
Yeah.
All right, well that was 1 Kings chapter 20.
It sure as fuck was.
And today we're getting into
1 Kings chapter 21.
Let's go do this.
Okie dokie.
Hey wife, do you like coffee in the morning?
I sure do, husband. Morning, noon, night. Which reminds me, I need to add that to our grocery list because we're running low.
Wait, before you do that, check out the website ungodlybrew.com where you can purchase a pound of your favorite flavor of coffee.
What if I want more than 1 pound?
Either order a larger amount, or better yet, get 10% off by setting up a subscription for every 2 weeks, or a month, or whatever works for you.
Did you set up something special for our listeners?
You know I did. Exclusive for our listeners, get an additional 10% off subscriptions by entering the code Sacrilegious Coffee at checkout.
That's a hellishly good deal.
Ungodly Brew is hellishly good coffee.
All right, 1 Kings chapter 21.
All right.
Here we go.
Here,
Ready?
We're going.
Okay, we're going now. Now, there was a man named Naboth.
Okay.
From Jezreel, who owned a vineyard in Jezreel beside the palace of King Ahab of Samaria.
Do you want to own a vineyard?
Not really. I'd love to visit one, though.
You'd like to drink the product of the vineyard.
Fuck yeah, I would. Yup. One day, Ahab said to Naboth, since your vineyard is so convenient to my palace, I would like to buy it to use as a veggie garden. Sure. I will give you a better vineyard in exchange, or if you prefer, I will pay for it. Okay. That seems weird.
He just wants to expand his palace area, and he needs a veggie garden.
Yeah. But Naboth replied, the Lord forbid that I should give you the inheritance that was passed down by my ancestors.
I don't think this is something you say to kings.
I don't think it is either, but I see where he's coming from.
Right. No, I get the sentiment. This is family land and all that. But, he's a king.
Right.
Who just kills people.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel you, but do you think that was smart?
Right.
Do you think he made good choices?
I don't think it was smart. I think it was dumb.
I don't think he made good choices.
I agree.
Okay.
But maybe God's going to be on his side.
Who fucking knows? You can never tell.
I mean...
this is about a fucking vineyard.
Right.
Who could know?
Right.
So Ahab went home angry and sullen again.
Sullen. He's been sullen a lot.
He is quite the pouty bitch.
Yeah.
Because of Naboth's answer, the king went to bed with his face to the wall and refused to eat.
His face?
Sounds like fucking Trump.
Sounds like a fucking 3-year-old.
All that's missing is throwing a plate of ketchup at the wall.
Right, yeah.
You crybaby. What's the matter? His wife Jezebel asked him. What's made you so upset that you're not eating?
Right.
I asked Naboth to sell me his vineyard or trade it, but he refused, Ahab told her. Are you the king of Israel or not?
I mean,
Jezebel
that's
demanded.
kind of what I was wondering. Like,
right?
You just take it,
You
right?
either just take it or, like, you'd be like, fair enough.
You say, hey, dude, I'm requisitioning your land. I'll give you a better one, but it's done deal, so.
Right. Get up and eat something and don't worry about it. I'll get you Naboth's vineyard. Oh, he got
his wife involved.
Yeah.
Who kills prophets, the prophet killer.
I don't know about making Jezebel in
Now
charge.
she's going to be a vineyard owner killer.
So she wrote letters in Ahab's name, call me Ishmael, sealed them with his seal, and seal.
Okay.
It's a seal.
Sorry, I was like, what are you doing?
He sealed them with his seal.
Okay. Yeah, no, I got it.
Bark,
I got it. I just
right?
It really kind of hit me out of left field there.
Okay, well, I thought it was good. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name, sealed them with a seal, and sent the seals and the envelopes to the elders and other leaders of the town where Naboth lived.
What do the elders and shit have to do with this guy's land?
I don't know, but she's about to be like, this guy needs to give us his land.
I guess.
In her letter, she commanded, call the citizens together for a time of fasting and give Naboth a place of honor. And then seat 2 scoundrels across from him who will accuse him of cursing God and the king.
Oh my God.
Then take him out and stone him to death.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
What?
She's conspiring to have him killed.
Oh my God.
Right.
This is...
In Ahab's name, apparently.
This is terrible. Why not just take his land?
Right, yeah.
Why do you have to fucking murder him
it's
for
not
his
like he
grapes?
has a fucking army. He just got a vineyard. He can throw grapes at you. Like,
Right?
what's he going to do?
Why do you have to murder him? Jesus. So the elders and other town leaders followed the instructions Jezebel had written in the letters. They called for a fast and put Naboth at a prominent place before the people. Then the 2 scoundrels came and sat down across from him, and they accused Naboth before all the people, saying, he cursed God and the king!
Oh, man.
So he was dragged outside the town and stoned to death.
Do you know of anybody else that curses God on a regular basis, maybe?
Us?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Just saying. You think we're going to get stoned to death anytime? Yeah, right.
The only kind of stoned I want is the good kind.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
The town leaders then sent word to Jezebel, Naboth has been stoned to death. When Jezebel heard the news, she said to Ahab, you know the vineyard Naboth wouldn't sell you? Well, you can have it now. He's dead. La la la.
And he has no family that's going to inherit it?
No.
Are we sure about this?
It doesn't matter.
Does she check
I'll kill them too.
Oh, okay.
So Ahab immediately went down to the vineyard of Naboth to claim it. Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. But the Lord said to Elijah, go down to meet King Ahab of Israel, who rules in Samaria. He will be at Naboth's vineyard in Jezreel, claiming it for himself. Give him this message. This is what the Lord says. Wasn't it enough that you killed Naboth? Must you rob him too? Because you have done this, dogs will lick your blood at the very place where they licked the blood of Naboth.
So he can cause bad things to happen to the king, but he can't stop them from killing a decent person.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I just, it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like,
Yeah,
why?
He just willy-nilly. I think I'll let this thing unfold.
Yeah, and then I'll yell at you afterwards, and they'll lick your blood. But probably after you die naturally in some fucking whatever.
100 years from now.
Right.
So, my enemy, you have found me, Ahab exclaimed to Elijah. Yes, Elijah answered. I have come because you have sold yourself to what is evil in the Lord's sight.
It's
so
okay,
now,
though. He can run really fast. So,
right? It's
yeah,
true.
Right.
It's true. So now the Lord says, I will bring disaster on you and consume you. I will destroy every one of your male descendants, slave and free alike, anywhere in Israel.
I thought we already had him kind of cursed within like the last chapter
We did.
or
We
something.
did.
Or maybe even before that. I don't know. But
yeah,
like,
pretty sure you're right about that.
yeah.
I am going to destroy your family as I did the family of Jeroboam, son of Nabat, and the family of Baasha, son of Ahijah, for you have made me very angry and have led Israel into sin.
I get it. Jeroboam gets a bad rap because,
Yeah.
like, he was bad in God's eyes, right? But then, like, literally every king after him was worse.
Right.
So, like, but they keep referring back to him as, like, the...
Remember when Jeroboam was bad?
Right.
Remember that time? Remember how he was the worst as bad?
I'm like,
but
dude, he's like the best of all of them because he was only the worst at the time.
Yeah. Everybody after him was worser.
Right. Yeah.
And regarding Jezebel, he continued, the Lord says dogs will eat Jezebel's body at the plot of land in Jezreel.
Okay.
The members of Ahab's family who die in the city will be eaten by dogs, and those who die in the field will be eaten by vultures.
He's got a thing for dogs right now.
Mm-hmm. Dogs gonna lick you and bite you and eat you and munch you and crunch you.
I mean, seriously though, I haven't heard them mention in the Bible dogs this much, like at all.
Right, and all of a sudden it's like
the dogs are gonna do a huge number on them.
And lions, dogs and lions,
and vultures,
Oh my. You got me. Okay, I have to enter parentheses voice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we're about to say a note that's in parentheses.
Sure, okay, yeah.
No one else so completely sold himself to what was evil in the Lord's sight as Ahab did under the influence of his wife Jezebel. His worst outrage was worshipping idols, just as the Amorites had done, the people whom the Lord had driven out from the land ahead of the Israelites.
Under the influence of his wife.
Right?
His wife his wife made him be bad. The worst.
But what I don't understand is it says no one else completely sold himself. Like, really? He was the worst bad guy you've ever met in this entire Bible. Seriously? Because there's been some really bad people.
Right? Yeah. I remember a whole group of people trying to rape people outside of a door. I mean, there's definitely been some really shitty people.
Yeah. This is stupid.
Right.
But when Ahab heard this message, he tore his clothing, dressed in burlap, and fasted. He even slept in burlap and went about in deep mourning.
So this dude worships Baal and then sees this miracle that he performed with the fire and bullshit or whatever, and then comes back and doesn't give a fuck really, because his wife decides he's going to kill Elijah, and then he comes back later and says, hey, God said this, and he's like, oh no, not that.
Right.
And I'm like, wait, why? Your wife still wants to kill Elijah.
Right.
And you're apparently believing in this bullshit that he's saying because why?
Because why is
He's already cursed you before through other things and nothing came of it.
Right.
And so what is going to change now? Now you're going to dress in burlap and all of a sudden worship God and everything's going to be okay? Or what? I don't like where this is going.
No,
it's not okay.
I don't either. Then another message from the Lord came to Elijah. Do you see how Ahab has humbled himself before me? Because he has done this.
Oh my God.
I will not do what I promised during his lifetime.
Oh my God.
This is ridiculous.
Seriously, we need to go get some fucking burlap, apparently.
Okay, but
Fuck
listen to this. It will happen to his sons.
What?
I will destroy his dynasty. The end.
This dude will have no fucking punishment. Okay, look, I'm not okay with him being punished because of God. Right. God says, right?
Right.
That's bullshit.
In the first place.
That didn't happen, right? And then he puts on goddamn burlap and he's going to be fine, but his sons get punished.
Right.
What kind of fucking God is this crappy ass piece of shit motherfucker God?
It is a crappy ass piece of shit motherfucker, clearly.
Oh.
That's what kind.
I don't even know what to say because,
it's ridiculous.
It is. It really is. It really is.
Everything is like, oh, we're going to talk about vineyards today and how bad we want them that we'll fucking murder over them.
And he's the worst ever. But then all the things that are bad, they're blaming on Jezebel.
Right.
They're like, Jezebel made him do it. Oh, but then we are going to curse him and kill his progeny. But no, he put burlap on, so we're not going to kill him, but we're going to kill his progeny still.
Sure.
What the? I just what kind of justice is this crap?
It's not.
The dude's gonna be dead. He doesn't give a fuck if his sons are dead.
Right.
True. He's just killing people to kill people.
Right.
It's crap.
It is crap.
And that's not there's no justice here.
No, there's not.
So
these stories have no moral or the end, it
right?
doesn't wrap up.
You just don't feel good at the end of these stories. You're like,
no.
What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. It's supposed to scare you into behaving because if you don't behave, maybe you'll get away with it, but your children will be punished.
I now know, after reading this much of the Bible, why, when you go to church services, they only read like a sentence or two. Because they're just picking out parts that they're like, yeah, I want to make a point about this, but I want to take it completely out of context. I'm like, yeah, you're taking it. I almost want to go to church again just to sit in and be like, wrong,
False.
fucking wrong.
False.
Would you like me to get up there and tell you what's wrong about this? Because it's wrong.
Wrong. False. False.
Oh.
Yeah, but we're not going to do that because
no, I know.
I'm not going to church ever again.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah. No, I agree. But it could be fun.
It wouldn't.
Just a little bit.
It would
be self-satisfying.
It would give me so much anxiety. It really would. Because
what if we went with like a large group of like-minded people?
I don't want to be in a group of Christians.
No. I mean, like, if
we went to church, there would be a group of Christians there, and I don't ever want to put myself in that position.
Right.
They are scary and terrifying.
They might have guns.
They might have guns.
They probably have guns.
Some of them probably do, and some of them probably
your parents'
brought
church
them.
was talking about carrying guns outside of their church.
Yeah, to walk the perimeter and defend the pastor.
Like,
and
what
I
the
go,
fuck?
defend them from what?
Right.
And they were like, from anybody who wants to attack them. And I was like, what the fuck has your pastor done that somebody's going to attack them?
Right. Yeah.
And they were like, haven't you seen the news? And I was
like,
you
mean where they're attacking synagogues and,
right.
Muslim communities and shit like that? Yeah, I've seen the news.
Yeah, like, it's you guys.
Your Baptist church will be just fine.
Yeah. Nobody's attacking your stupid church.
Right.
Weirdos.
All
okay,
right.
let's wrap this up.
Yeah, right. All right, well, that was 1 Kings chapter 21.
And tomorrow
we're wrapping up the whole shebang.
We are wrapping up 1 Kings with 1 Kings chapter 22.
That is amazing.
It is amazing. Another one in the hole.
Right? Yeah. All right, well, we'll see you guys tomorrow then.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
Well, as I recall, I think Ahab fucked up by letting his wife murder somebody because he wanted the veggie garden. And then he was maybe going to get eaten by dogs, but then now his sons are just going to be getting eaten by dogs. So
yeah,
it's all better now for him.
For him. Right.
But his sons are going to be like, fuck you, God.
Yeah.
Because, fuck you, God.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah, and his wife is Jezebel, by the way.
Right.
Jezebel is the one who had Naboth, I think was his name.
Naboth, yeah.
Naboth had him stoned because he wouldn't give up his vineyard.
Yeah. I mean, that was just a shit-ass move.
Yeah.
And on everybody's part, really. Like,
I mean, except for Naboth, he doesn't have to sell his fucking vineyard.
Right. No. But, I mean, to be fair there as well, a king asks you to fucking get your land, and you don't generally say no.
I mean, I do, but...
Not if he's known for killing people.
Okay,
and his wife.
Fair, but I don't know if it's been in the family for ages, which it probably has.
But is it worth your life?
I mean, maybe to him it was.
Some fucking grapes are worth your life.
Maybe the land to him was worth his life.
Well, there ain't no grape good enough to be worth my life, so...
I'm not here to say whether he should have or shouldn't have. I don't think he was an asshole for saying no.
I don't think he was an asshole, no. But,
okay.
I mean, things could have gone a lot better in many different ways.
Well, yeah, when you're dealing with a bully, absolutely. If you always let the bully have their way, things tend to go better.
Right, and when you don't, they kill you.
Right.
So, I mean...
Right.
This isn't a win-win or win-lose or... I don't know what the fuck it is. Win something.
It's bad.
It's lose-lose.
It's bad because he was a fucking bully and his wife's a bigger bully.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, that was 1 Kings chapter 21.
Sure as fuck was.
Today, we're getting into the last chapter of the book, which is...
1 Kings chapter 22.
All right. Let's go do this.
Okie dokie. Okay, 1 Kings chapter 22.
Okay.
Final chapter of this book.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So for 3 years, there was no war between Aram and Israel.
That's nice.
Isn't that nice? I like it when
really
there's
nice.
no war.
3 years. 3 whole years.
3 whole ones. Then, during the 3rd year, King Jehoshaphat of Judah went to visit King Ahab of Israel.
Oh, shit's about to get
real.
Warish.
During the visit, the king of Israel said to his officials, Do you realize that the town of Ramoth Gilead belongs to us? And yet, we've done nothing to recapture it from the king of Aram. There we go.
He just now realized, like, it's been years, decades maybe even at this point, since he's been king, and he's just like, wait a second.
Hang on. I want that corner of the globe.
We're missing a fucking town, man.
Yeah. Then he turned to Jehoshaphat and asked, will you join me in battle to recover Ramoth Gilead? Jehoshaphat replied to the king of Israel, why, of course. You and I are as one. My troops are your troops, and my horses are your horses.
Okay. There's a lot of, like, alliances between different kings at this point in time, which is a lot different from what they used to, like, when they were talking before, it was just always two kings.
Right.
Like, you know, like the early kings of Israel, it was just two kings. But now there's, like, all these other kings that they're, like, alliances here and alliances there.
Right.
And it's kind of interesting.
It's kind of like Game of Thrones.
Right? Yeah.
It really is. Then Jehoshaphat added, but first, let's find out what the Lord says.
Yeah, because it matters to him now that he wore that potato sack last time.
No, this is Jehoshaphat said it.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad he's saying a good thing. He's doing it good.
I mean, in the course of the
Bible canon, yes.
Right, because I don't agree with God.
No.
Nor do I believe in him.
No, I'm saying within story world.
Okay, all right. Just clarifying.
Yeah, definitely. So the king of Israel summoned the prophets, about 400 of them, and asked them, should I go to war against Ramoth Gilead, or should I hold back?
I find this very interesting because it was just a few chapters ago that we were talking about Elijah being the only fucking prophet left in Israel. And now we have 400?
400!
Where did these 400 people fucking come from?
My ass. Okay, so he asked them, should I? And they all replied, yeah, go right ahead. The Lord will give the king victory. But Jehoshaphat asked, is there not also a prophet of the Lord here? We should ask him the same question.
Wait, weren't those... Who? What?
Those were prophets of... I think those were probably prophets of Jezebel's.
Oh, so Asherah.
It didn't specifically say that. It just said 400 prophets.
Okay.
Didn't say what. But now he's specifying, I want a prophet of the Lord.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'm going to guess that those other 400 prophets were Jezebel's.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Yeah, no. But that's interesting. Like, when I think prophet and they're referencing them for asking them a question, they don't generally ask any other prophets other than the Lord's prophets questions.
Exactly.
But they literally refer to this other God, their prophets, as prophets.
Yeah.
Like, that's just weird to me.
It is.
In the Bible.
That's
crazy.
The king of Israel replied to Jehoshaphat, there is one more man we could consult the Lord for us, but God, I hate him.
Elijah.
He never prophesies anything but trouble for me. His name is Micaiah, son of Imlah.
What the fuck is this?
I hate this Micaiah guy.
I thought the guy he hated was Elijah.
Well, we're not talking about Elijah in this chapter.
But he did hate Elijah, right?
But now we're talking about Micaiah.
Jesus.
You need to keep up, sir.
But there's...
No, I'm talking about Micaiah now.
Okay.
That hate was last chapter. This hate is Micaiah. This chapter.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Son of Imlah. Keep up.
Okay.
Jehoshaphat replied, that's not the way a king should talk. Let's hear what he has to say. So the king of Israel called one of his officials and said, quick, bring Micaiah, son of Imlah. King Ahab of Israel and King Jehoshaphat of Judah, dressed in their royal robes, were sitting on thrones at the threshing floor near the gate of Samaria.
Okay.
Samaria?
Yeah, I don't know.
All of Ahab's prophets were prophesying there in front of them. Call me Ishmael.
Oh, wait, so Ahab's prophets are Baal because he was the one who worshipped Baal.
Yeah.
So that was the ones he was questioning. But I thought they all died there when they were lighting the fires, so...
Can they ever all die?
Never. Nothing ever all dies in the Bible.
It's never complete.
Except for that one time when he, wiped everybody out but Noah.
Even
then they all died, except for those people that he put in the boat.
There's always except for. Even if it's not mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of those people,
yeah,
Zedekiah, son of Kenana, made some iron horns and proclaimed, this is what the Lord says. With these horns you will gore the Arameans to death. All the other prophets agreed.
This is the Baal prophets, right?
Yeah.
Ahab prophets.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the other prophets agreed. Yes, they said, go up to Ramoth Gilead and be victorious, for the Lord will give the king victory.
Just a guess here, but I'm going to guess that Micaiah, was that guy's name? I'm going to bet that he's going to prophesy the other way.
I think you are correct.
And I also bet that he's going to be correct.
I think you are also correct on that.
Because otherwise this probably wouldn't be in the Bible.
Probably.
I'm just saying.
Probably. No, I would not take that bet.
Right,
I think you are correct.
I've got that one. That's like a lock-in.
That's a lock. You got this one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, just kidding. Meanwhile, the messenger who went to get Micaiah said to him, look, all the prophets are promising victory for the king. Be sure that you agree with them and promise success. But Micaiah replied, as surely as the Lord lives, I will only say what the Lord tells me to say.
There you go. I mean, that's smart, given that God tends to kill the people that don't do what he wants.
But is it
and
worth
they
grapes?
get eaten by lions,
But is it
or
good
dogs.
grapes?
I don't know.
I mean, would you tell the truth for your life?
Well,
and how is that different from holding on to your land and grapes?
Apparently this guy's given bad news to this king before because
True.
he's said that he's given him bad news before.
Yeah.
So he's lived through those. So this guy might not be as scared as others might be.
Either that or he is scared but also stands by his values.
Right.
When Micaiah arrived before the king, Ahab asked him, Micaiah, should we go to war against Ramoth Gilead or should we hold back? Micaiah replied sarcastically, yes, go up and be victorious, for the Lord will give the king victory. But the king replied sharply, how many times must I demand that you speak only the truth to me when you speak for the Lord? Then Micaiah told him, in a vision I saw all Israel scattered on the mountains like sheep without a shepherd, and the Lord said, their master has been killed, send them home in peace. Didn't I tell you? The king of Israel exclaimed to Jehoshaphat. He never prophesies anything but trouble for me.
He just asked him to tell him the truth.
Yeah, but the truth sucks.
Right, but he didn't believe him when he told him what he wanted to hear.
Because he said it sarcastically.
Right, no, I know.
Then, I mean, it specifically said he said it sarcastically.
No, yeah, I get it.
Sure, yeah, you're totally going to win.
Right.
You going to believe him?
No.
Then Micaiah continued, listen to what the Lord says. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne with all the armies of heaven around him, on his right and on his left. And the Lord said, who can entice Ahab to go into battle against Ramoth Gilead so he can be killed?
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Wow.
There were many suggestions, and finally a spirit approached the Lord. A spirit, huh? Approached the Lord and said, I can do it. How will you do this? The Lord asked. And the spirit replied, I will go out and inspire all of Ahab's prophets to speak lies. You will succeed, said the Lord. Go ahead and do it. So you see, the Lord has put a lying spirit in the mouths of your prophets, for the Lord has pronounced your doom. Boom.
So there are spirits now.
Yeah. And
that's a new one.
What's a spirit?
Right? Like
is it a angel-y thing? Is it
I mean, they
a ghost?
they've distinguished between, like, they didn't say angel, they didn't say cherub, or cherubim, they didn't say, they said spirit.
They said spirit.
So this is something new.
Yeah.
Regardless of translation, it was a different word that they used.
It was a different word, yeah.
So this is something new.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a spirit?
I have no fucking idea.
That sounds like a good Q&A.
That is going to be my Q&A.
That's really cool.
What's a spirit?
Right? Like, I mean,
hey, so
seriously.
1 Kings chapter 22. What's a spirit?
Right?
Never heard of that before.
Yeah, and why does God need a spirit to go, like, I just don't get it. Like, a spirit, I would assume, is like somebody that went to heaven, I guess.
Maybe?
Right? Like, I don't know, but like, why does he need just the regular crew to go down and inspire other gods?
Why does he need an intermediary when he's so all powerful? He could just do it his damn self.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's always been the case, though. So you know.
Then Zedekiah, son of Kenana, walked up to Micaiah and slapped him across the fucking face, like Will Smith did to Chris Rock. Yeah.
Wow.
Slapped him right across the fucking face. Then Zedekiah, son of Kenana, walked... Oh, I just read that. Since when did the Spirit of the Lord leave me to speak to you? He demanded. And Micaiah replied, you will find out soon enough when you are trying to hide in some secret room.
What? Okay.
I think he thought that was a sick burn.
Okay.
But it was like... He's basically saying, you'll find out, bitch.
Right. Okay.
Arrest him, the king of Israel ordered.
Oh, my God.
Take him back to Ammon, the governor of the city, and to my son Joash. Give them this order from the king. Put this man in prison and feed him nothing but bread and water until I return safely from the battle. But Micaiah replied, if you return safely, it will mean that the Lord has not spoken through me.
Right.
Then he added to those standing around, everyone mark my words.
Everyone mark them.
Do you think that anyone marked them?
It made it into the Bible, so it got marked.
It got marked. I don't think they marked it well. They did some, what is that called? Quarterback chair, where you sit
armchair quarterback.
Yeah, that. Yeah, where they're like looking back over it.
Right.
Okay. Boy, I really fucked that all up. Sorry, nothing. So King Ahab of Israel and King Jehoshaphat of Judah led their armies against Ramoth Gilead.
Okay.
The king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, who said it? The king of Israel. Okay. As we go into battle, I will disguise myself so no one will recognize me, but you wear your royal robes.
This sounds like a bad idea, actually.
This sounds like a very dumb idea. Yeah. So the king of Israel disguised himself and they went into battle. Meanwhile, the king of Aram had issued these orders to his 32 chariot commanders.
32 again, huh? Mm-hmm. Remember there was 32?
Yeah.
32 is the new...
32
we got 12,
is the new 40.
and 32.
Attack only the king of Israel. Don't bother with anyone else. That was what one of the guys said.
Okay, yeah.
So when the Aramean chariot commanders saw Jehoshaphat in his royal robes, they went after him. There is the king of Israel, they shouted. But when Jehoshaphat called out, the chariot commanders realized he was not the king of Israel.
These guys know really well who is who.
Yeah.
Like, they know them by voice?
Right?
That's crazy.
So they knew he was not the king of Israel, and they stopped chasing him.
Okay.
He's like, wait! An Aramean soldier, however, randomly shot an arrow at the Israelite troops and hit the king of Israel between the joints of his armor.
Oh, man.
Turn the horses and get me out of here. Ahab groaned to the driver of his chariot. I'm badly wounded. The battle raged all that day, and the king remained propped up in his chariot, facing the Arameans. The blood from his wound ran down to the floor of his chariot, and as evening arrived, womp womp, he died. He died. Just as the sun was setting, the cry ran through his troops. We're done for! Run for your lives!
I don't understand why a king dying means you're done for.
'Cause we chopped off the head.
But, like, you can still...
no, never! We cannot think! No, we need one leader! Run for your lives!
My thinking is this, because if you are running away after your king died and you're sad and can't hold it together anymore, you didn't really give a shit about the cause all that much in the first place.
I don't think that's true.
No?
I don't think that's true at all.
Okay.
I think that if you're crying because your king died, you probably care very much about the cause and the king that commanded you to be there.
But I feel like that would inspire, like your king dying would inspire you to fight that much harder.
Maybe.
Like, I'm going to win this for him, like he gave his life, I'm giving mine, that kind of thing.
Maybe. I don't know.
So.
I didn't live then. And
right,
I wouldn't have been there because I'm a girl.
Right, but I mean, they're fighting over a city that they just realized, like, he ruled in Israel. Ahab ruled for, 22 years, I think, is what they said.
Something like that.
So, after 22 years, he realized that they were missing a city. They're like, let's go get this city. And the guys are like, okay. And they're dying for this fucking city that they didn't give a shit about for 22 years. I just don't see them caring that much about it.
I couldn't tell you. Maybe they did care. Or maybe... they didn't realize what they were getting into.
Right. Good point.
So the king died, and his body was taken to Samaria and buried there.
Okay.
Then his chariot was washed beside the pool of Samaria, and dogs came and licked his blood at the place where the prostitutes bathed.
There goes that prophecy happening.
Just as the Lord had promised.
Right? Man, that's such a strong prophecy that it came true in the book that they wrote.
Right where prostitutes bathed, too.
Right, it's so bad.
Damn.
Like, man, that's awful. Not really.
No, I don't really
But
care.
who gives a shit?
it's supposed to be like...
And honestly, you're dead already. Who gives a fuck?
I know.
What's drinking your blood?
Right. Like, I've never understood why we care about the body when supposedly your spirit is gone and that body ain't you no more.
Right.
So why, again, are we being so careful and you know, it's almost like we're worshiping the dead shell.
Right.
So weird.
Yeah.
The rest of the events in Ahab's reign and everything he did, including the story of the ivory palace and the towns he built, are recorded in
the books of the King
the
Chronicle things.
King thing. So Ahab died, and his son Ahaziah became the next king.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, we're on to a new king.
We're on to a new king. So we're starting a new little section here.
All right, but he's going to die too, according to the prophecy thing, whatever.
Yep. Jehoshaphat, son of Asa, began to rule over Judah in the 4th year of King Ahab's reign in Israel. Jehoshaphat was 35 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 25 years.
Okay.
His mother was Azubah, the daughter of Shilhi. Jehoshaphat was a good king, following the example of his father Asa. That's nice of him.
Right.
He did... Oh, that's why he was asking, we should ask the Lord's prophet, yo.
Right.
He did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight. During his reign, however, he failed to remove all the pagan shrines.
Oh, what
and the people still offered sacrifices.
Oh, my... How could he ever let this happen?
Burned incense there.
So horrible.
Ugh.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he did good, but...
He let bad things happen.
He didn't make sure his people did good.
Yeah, he's just terrible.
Right?
Yeah.
Jehoshaphat also made peace with the king of Israel. The rest of the events in Jehoshaphat's reign, the extent of his power, and the wars he waged are recorded in...
the book of King Chronicle shit, whatever things.
Yep. He banished from the land the rest of the male and female shrine prostitutes who still continued their practices from the days of his father Asa. He got rid of the shrine prostitutes.
I guess they went over to that river where what is his name? Ahab died.
Yeah. There was no king in Edom at that time, only a deputy.
Okay.
I don't care.
Right, whatever.
He wore blue shoes, not red. Like, what? Jehoshaphat also built a fleet of trading ships to sail to Ophir for gold.
Oh, wow.
But the ships never set sail, for they met with disaster in their home port of Ezion-Geber.
Oh, that's a shame.
At one time, Ahaziah, son of Ahab, had proposed to Jehoshaphat, "Let my men sail with your men in the ships." But Jehoshaphat refused that request.
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to share the gold.
Right?
Why would you want to share the gold?
When Jehoshaphat died, he was buried with his ancestors in the city of David.
Okay.
Then his son Jehoram became the next king.
Okay.
All right?
So we got 2 new kings now. All right.
Ahaziah, son of Ahab, began to rule over Israel in the 17th year of King Jehoshaphat's reign in Judah.
Okay.
He reigned in Samaria 2 years. But he did what was evil in the Lord's sight, following the example of his father and mother and the example of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who had led Israel to sin.
Does it really matter? He was destined to die by God anyway.
Right.
So, might as well enjoy your time, I guess, right?
Yeah, if somebody prophesied that I was going to die and they were known to tell prophecies that always came true, I would be like, then I'm going to ride all the rides.
Right,
and,
I'm going out like fucking...
I'm doing all the drugs, drinking all the drinks, smoking all the things.
Right,
Yeah, I'm going to live it up.
Might as well.
Yep. He served Baal and worshipped him, provoking the anger of the Lord, the God of Israel, just as his father had done. The end.
But God already said, dude, you're dying.
Yep.
So it didn't fucking matter.
It didn't fucking matter. But that is the end of First Kings.
It is.
Interesting.
And now we had 2 new kings, one of which already died. But we got 1 new king at least that might be continuing in the next chapter. Or next book, I mean.
He seemed halfway decent.
It seemed that way for now. But then, we've got examples in the past where...
they start out good, but they always fail.
In the last fucking page.
They go on a fuck fest suddenly.
Right, yeah. That's just crazy shit. So.
I married the whole planet. I was good, but I married the whole planet.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's usually what it is.
Right? Well, was it what it was with, what's his face?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. I as soon as you would say it, if you said it, I'd know it exactly, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now, and it's too late to look it up, so
yep.
It is what it is.
It be what it be.
Right. All right. Well, that was the end of First Kings.
It sure as fuck was.
And tomorrow we will be coming back with a Q&A and wrap-up.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Thursday, we will be doing...
Yeah, Thursday. Sorry.
Our Contradictions episode, which...
is called You're Always Wrong. Or, as I like to say, You're Always Wrong.
Right, that.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Friday, we're just going to be doing a little bit of a special episode, so hang tight and join us that day for that. And yeah, that'll be the rest of the week. So
because on Saturday...
Yeah.
We will be at the... what's it called?
We'll be at the Kentucky Freethought Convention.
Yeah, the Freethought Convention. That's
so
what I was
I think we might actually not be doing an episode for one of the first times ever in a long time on Saturday.
Ever in a long time.
Well, like we used to do bi-weekly episodes,
right.
So we didn't always do daily.
Right.
But this will be the first time in a really long time that we haven't done an episode on a day.
We might pre-record something if we have time.
We might.
And
or we might take the day off.
We might take the day off. We might.
I mean, we're not really taking the day off. If you're there at the fucking, Freethought Convention, Kentucky Freethought Convention,
yeah,
we'll fucking be there.
We'll fucking be there.
You should fucking be there too.
Yeah.
If you can.
And make sure
if not, it's all good.
Make sure you look for our table because we'll be one of the vendors and we will be selling ungodly brew and representing Sacrilegious Discourse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if you mention that you heard this on our podcast, you get a free sample of the Ungodly Brew coffee. So,
whoop, whoop.
Do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Q&A and wrap-up.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
What are we doing today?
We're doing our Q&A and our wrap-up, I believe.
Of First Kings.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. That is what we're doing.
Okay. And you got anything to tell us about that scenario that we're getting into here today?
Yeah. We are going to be going over that question about spirits.
Okay. Yeah.
And do a little summary of First Kings. And normally we would do a pop quiz, but all the pop quizzes are over First and Second Kings combined since it was originally one book.
So we'll just hold out for the end of Kings in general.
Yeah, we'll do a pop quiz over First and Second Kings.
Okay, that sounds good. Yep.
All right.
I mean, so far we could just say there's been a lot of kings.
Yeah. There sure as fuck have.
Yeah, we won that quiz.
Woo!
All right, let's get into this Q&A/wrap-up.
Okie dokie. Okay, so before we talk about the spirits, let's go over the scene in which the spirits were discussed.
Okay.
Do you remember what happened?
I kind of remember that there was a spirit, but then he did something for God.
Okay,
that's the most I got right now.
That is like pretty far from a good summary.
Yeah, no, it was a really bad summary.
Okay, so there was a prophet, and what's his name? Ahab was like, oh, I don't want to talk to that guy. He always gives me shitty prophecies.
Right.
And we thought he was going to pull Elijah out of his ass, right?
Yeah.
But no, it was some dude named Micaiah.
Right, yeah. Well, what the fuck was that all about?
So I looked him up just to get a little dig on him.
Yeah.
It didn't say a lot about him. His name is Hebrew for who is like Yah.
Okay.
Not the whole Yahweh or Yahweh.
Right.
Just
but
Yah.
Who's Yah?
Part of the whole Yahweh thing,
sure.
probably.
All right.
And he is one of the 4 disciples of Elijah.
Oh.
Okay. So
that's
I don't know if
interesting.
that's something that we'll learn in the coming book.
I mean, you would have thought that, so like if it was going to be a disciple, since they've talked about Elisha, you would have thought it would have been Elisha that did this and not like...
Right.
But okay.
But let's keep in mind that these were originally one book. So
right.
we might learn more about him later.
True.
Also keep in mind that there's this whole other set of books that we're missing.
Right.
And he may have been discussed more in those.
Okay.
So I don't feel like I'm giving away a spoiler or ruining anything by saying that he is one of the 4 disciples of Elijah.
Okay.
Yep. That's basically all I could find on him.
Got it.
Okay.
Which is next to nothing.
Right. Next to nothing. He's very godly, according to his name.
Sure.
And he follows Elijah.
Okay.
Okay. So he comes and he's giving Ahab, call me Ishmael. He's giving him sarcastic, like, sure, yeah, you're totally gonna win, whatevs.
Right.
And then Ahab's like, okay, I can hear you being sarcastic. Tell me the truth. And then Micaiah's like, okay, I'm gonna tell you the truth. You're not gonna fucking like it. You're gonna fucking lose.
Yep.
Because guess what God told me?
You're gonna lose.
And then he repeats this scene that happened. And it is in that scene where he basically was watching God talk to his host or something.
Right.
And it doesn't specifically say host of what or host of who, but it's his host.
Okay.
And God talks to the host and is like, what should we do? Give me some advice. What are your ideas? And then one of the hosts is like, ooh, I know, I could put some lies into the mouths of those 400 prophets. Yeah. And God's like, oh my God, that is so cool. I mean, yeah, let's totally do that.
Sure.
And the person who said that, or the entity that said that, was the spirit.
Okay, right.
So I had to get into all that before we get into what is a spirit. Okay. So let's talk about the scene a little bit more, though. Okay, some rabbis accept that the scene described by Micaiah literally occurred in heaven.
Okay.
So Micaiah was like a witness. He was in heaven watching this unfold.
Okay. Yeah.
And further on in the Bible, Yahweh warns against false prophecies.
Right.
So it's kind of weird because yet Yahweh's actions to allow false prophecies to be given.
Right.
Are deliberate and intentional and go entirely against that.
Yeah, it's not just later in the Bible. They've talked about false prophecies earlier in the Bible too.
Right, but he will specifically say it.
Right, but it we've talked about God being a dick before, right? I mean, just a couple of times.
Yeah, just once or twice.
But like, if he's literally not making people, but coercing people into giving false prophecies. Then he is directly responsible for them being false prophets. And so when he's punishing people for being false prophets, that he caused them, like, where does this circle of bullshit ever end?
Okay, so that is a great question, because from everything I could find, there is intense debate over whether or not God actually forced people to do false prophecies. Okay. The apologists and like the Bible scholars or whatever who are like into it.
Right.
They will say, okay, first of all, God did not do it himself. He merely allowed this to happen.
Okay.
And so, right. But follow me here for a second.
I'm following.
I don't know how familiar you are with the book of Job, which we haven't got to yet.
Right. I know that it's like, there's a lot of shit that's gonna, like, that's a crazy book.
That is a crazy book. The devil is like, I bet if I fuck with this dude, he'll totally switch teams.
Right.
And God's like, I'll take that bet.
Yeah.
And so that is often what they will use as an example of God allowing evil to do its thing while not being the one who does it himself.
Okay.
So that's one of the defenses.
But
okay.
Okay.
I know. But you're walking in a circle here, my guy.
Right. And I'm sorry, but like, he has not presented himself enough to the people of Israel, or let's not even talk about today and now.
Right.
Right. There is no fucking God. Like, as far as I'm concerned, that's a moot point and whatever. But even in the Bible times, he did not present himself enough for these people to know who he was versus who anybody else was that's talking to them.
Right.
If there's some fucking entity that's godlike talking to them, it's God, right? I mean, that's...
Well, okay, but there's more arguments against this.
Okay.
So, I mean, I totally agree with you. I'm just telling you what the apologists say, okay?
Sure.
I'm not trying to convince you. Okay, so there's more arguments against that, though. There is one view that, of course, this never fucking happened. It was Micaiah doing poetic license.
Right.
But let me get to that in a second.
I got a question real quick. Being an apologist sounds like a full-time job. Do you think they have good benefits? Like, I mean...
Oh, my gosh. You're dumb. You're dumb. So others reject this entire view, arguing that God could not have sent false prophecy since prophecy is true by definition, right?
Then
like
why...
there is no... Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
There is no such thing as false prophecy because that is two words that are opposite to each other.
So when someone prophesizes and it turns out to be false, what is that then?
It wasn't a prophecy.
Okay.
Is what they're saying.
Okay. All right.
It's like when we say hot water heater, you're not heating hot water. You're heating water to make it hot, right? It's a misphrasing. We know what you mean by it, but it's not correct phrasing.
Okay.
So anyway, instead they argue that Micaiah actually fabricated this vivid scene using poetic dramatization in an attempt to frighten and thereby prevail upon Ahab.
Got it.
And I found this next point really, really interesting. Keep in mind, this event appears to occur after Ahab's repentance for Baal worship. Remember, he was like busted out, and then he put on the potato sack and was like, sorry.
Yeah.
Right. So this happened after that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So his prophets appear to be prophets of Yahweh, not Baal.
What?
Albeit the Yahweh who was worshipped via golden calves. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
Rather than the Yahweh who was worshipped in the temple at Jerusalem.
Okay, but how do you distinguish between the Yahweh that was worshipped via golden calves versus the Baal that's worshipped via golden calves versus whatever the fuck they're worshiping?
Well, these were not Jezebel's prophets. These were his prophets.
Right, but Jezebel was Asherah poles and Asherah.
Right.
And he was Baal. And they specifically at some point said Baal in that last chapter that we wrote, I thought. I'm just... That's what I recalled.
I don't remember well enough to argue with you. I'm just saying I find it interesting that we literally in our Q&A, or not our Q&A, what was it? It was whatever we did a few days ago. No, it definitely would have been our Q&A on Saturday. That we talked about the difference between the two nations, North and South, was that they both worshipped Yahweh,
right?
But one did it the more ancient way that Aaron did.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
So that's where this is coming from.
Yep.
And that makes a lot of sense. These people don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just worshiping whatever.
Right.
I mean,
well, it turns out you probably, they only did mention, I just did a quick search here, and Baal is only mentioned once, and that's when King Ahab's son, Ahaziah, he worshipped him, and at the very end of the chapter there. Yeah. But other than that, Baal was not actually specifically mentioned in that chapter, so.
Okay.
I guess that could be the case. I wasn't trying to argue with you. I just swore I remembered that Baal was mentioned in there, which he was, but just not where I thought he was. So.
Right. I kind of like the way this is phrased,
Yeah.
That what they were worshiping was an older kind of thing.
Right.
So, still wrong, but closer to home.
Sure. Yeah.
So, in ancient times, all the way through the Old Testament, God is seen as the sovereign deity with all other beings under his command and for his use. Right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not until New Testament times, which obviously we haven't got into,
right,
that you will see the idea of a kingdom of Satan or evil spirits in rebellion against the kingdom of God.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So in the New Testament, Satan and the evil spirits are enemies of God and humanity, and Jesus comes to deal with them. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
That's what the whole New Testament is about.
Right.
Right? So basically, human ideas about the spirit world evolved over time, and the Bible reflects that evolution. So when Kings was written, the book of Kings, it wouldn't have been a weird idea for God to make use of evil spirits. This is going back to the argument maybe they are talking about spirits, right?
Right.
For us, with our ideas of very strict good and evil and like what are spirits, it sounds very strange to us.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So this would have been normal to them.
Okay.
So there's that. Okay. Micaiah's prophecy is the earliest example in the Hebrew Bible of a representation of a heavenly throne room. I found that very interesting. Which, I don't recall hearing about a heavenly anything, really.
Right. No, I mean, actually, most of the stuff that they discussed up to this point have been almost earthbound. Like
God in the
fire,
ark and God in the
his
wind.
seat on the ark and stuff like that. And it's all very earthbound until that moment.
And that moment was all of a sudden God is all heavenly and whatnot.
Right,
He's over there.
Yeah.
He's in space.
Yeah.
Sky Daddy.
Right.
So it's not clear whether the heavenly throne room represents Micaiah's own belief or a depiction of Ahab's court prophets or what.
Got it.
Because, I mean, obviously there's no such thing as a real throne room up in the sky.
Right.
So, okay, so here is the specific verse where the word spirit is mentioned. Okay?
Yeah.
And then there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. Like, remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, a lot of scholars think that the article a spirit should actually read the spirit per the Hebrew translation.
Okay.
So, there came forth the spirit. And then that gets into the question, but what are spirits? Right?
So is this like the Catholic, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost thing where there's multiple iterations of the same God? Or?
Maybe, but that's not where I'm going with this. Okay.
And I don't even really know what that means, honestly, because I'm just kind of speaking out of my ass there.
Right.
I don't understand what the Trinity is exactly.
I've heard it described as like ice water versus water. They're the same thing, but in different forms.
Got it.
And so God as the Spirit and God as Jesus and God as the Heavenly Father are like all actually the same thing at the same time.
Okay.
But it's just
it's like an electron that can exist in two places at once?
Yes. it's a cat.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a cat in a box.
Right.
Yeah. So what are spirits, right? Back to the original question.
Sure.
Okay. So there are some that argue that they might be fallen angels. Like, remember, God does have angels that fell.
Yeah.
Right? And, Satan is the big one of those.
Right.
But there are others who followed him.
Okay.
So, and they would be in his host.
Sure.
And if anybody was going to volunteer, it would certainly be them. Right?
Right.
So then there is the argument that no, it's not just any fallen angel. It's the evil spirit.
So we're talking about Satan.
Father of lies, the old deceiver. So, he would be the one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, then there are a few that put forth the idea that, I don't know, maybe it was the spirit of Naboth. Remember, Naboth was the guy who had the grapevines that he didn't want to give up his land, right?
Yeah.
And so apparently there's a Jewish legend that says that it is the spirit of Naboth seeking revenge on Ahab.
Huh.
So I don't.
So ghost stories, huh?
Yeah, and I don't think that has like a lot of credence. Not that any of these do.
No,
but
right.
like
yeah.
That theory the
least. As far as which theory was meant to be the case.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
And then the last suggestion that I saw was, what if it's the spirit of God Himself? Like, what? God's talking to Himself,
right? Well, I could believe that. He's very arrogant and whatever, aggrandizing.
I don't know.
So
I have no idea.
Yeah.
So basically, we had a question and did not answer it at all.
Yay us!
But
we're awesome.
We learned a lot.
Yeah.
So now let's do a summary of the book of 1 Kings.
Okay.
The book of 1 Kings is a compilation of various records of the acts of the kings of Israel and Judah by a Deuteronomic compiler.
Oh, okay.
In the 7th century BCE, with a supplement added in the 6th century BCE.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
Right.
First Kings provides an account of the death of David. I forgot this went back that far.
Right.
We had so many fucking kings.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay, so it covered the death of David, the reign of his son Solomon, and the decline and division of the kingdom of Israel after Solomon, and many of his successors turned to idol worship.
I just don't believe that Solomon was as good as he said he was.
He wasn't.
I don't believe that.
He wasn't.
And then that was the guy that we were trying to think of the other day, where he all of a sudden in the very end of the chapter,
like 1,000 wives.
Right. It's almost like somebody else, like, you know how we talked about Bathsheba and him were writing this, memoir of him, right? It's almost like somebody got this and they're like, this is ridiculous. We need to cut him down here a little bit.
And
so
they snuck in
just
last bit.
Throw this last bit on there. Yeah.
The book of 1 Kings also recounts the ministry of the prophet Elijah among the northern 10 tribes of Israel.
Okay.
Which, I mean, did it really cover that? Vague. Little bit it. So,
and then that really just kind of came, like we talked about at the time, that really just kind of popped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's a prophet.
And then, there's another one.
Right.
Micaiah. By Micaiah.
It was all kings and now prophet. Ooh,
yeah.
Prophet.
Yeah. Book of Prophets. What?
Right.
So I found this really cool outline, and it breaks up First Kings into 3 little sections.
Okay. Yeah.
And apparently this is how the book is commonly broken up.
Okay.
Okay. So First Kings chapters 1 through 11.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the first 11 chapters are King David has his son Solomon anointed king.
Sure.
Right? And then he dies.
Yeah.
Solomon rules his kingdom with great wisdom, builds a temple, and erects his palace with a giant tub called the Sea at Jerusalem.
Yeah,
right?
good shit.
The Queen of Sheba visits Solomon.
Yep.
Solomon's many wives lure him away from worshiping the Lord and encourage him to worship false gods.
Right.
So then Solomon's kingdom is threatened by Jeroboam. Okay?
Right.
So that's the first 11 chapters.
Okay.
And, I had forgotten that it went back that far.
Right.
In 22 chapters.
Yeah.
Right? All of this happened.
Yep.
That's ridiculous. So then in the next 4 chapters, chapters 12 through 16, all the tribes of Israel except Judah and Benjamin rebel against Solomon's son Rehoboam.
Okay.
The kingdom is divided, and Jeroboam becomes the ruler of the northern kingdom, a.k.a. Israel.
Right.
Leaving Rehoboam to rule the southern kingdom, a.k.a. Judah.
Yeah, that.
I was expecting you to pipe up.
I apologize.
Jeroboam and Rehoboam both establish idol worship in their kingdoms.
Right, I remember that.
And many rulers of both kingdoms follow this pattern of idol worship.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, because they aren't actually taught what God is, and they don't talk to God, and they don't know who God is, so.
Exactly. So the final couple chapters 17 through 22, the prophet Elijah causes a drought in the land. Right. And magically resurrects a widow's dead son.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Elijah wins a fire lighting competition against the priests of Baal and shows that Jehovah is God.
Or he's really good at lighting fires.
One or the other.
You know?
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Jezebel, the wife of King Ahab and a supporter of Baal, tries to kill Elijah.
Yeah.
So he travels to Mount Horeb, which is also Mount Sinai.
Right.
Where the Lord reveals himself in a whisper.
Yeah, not the strong wind and not the earthquake and not the fire.
Exactly.
But the whisper.
The whisper.
The gentle wind.
It started with a whisper. Elijah meets Elisha, who will succeed him as prophet. Elijah prophesies the deaths of Ahab and Jezebel. And then Ahaziah, the son of Ahab, reigns in wickedness.
Yeah, he does.
And that's
that.
That is that. That is a lot of shit that went down in 22 chapters.
Well, I mean, the Bible's very clunky. Like it doesn't transition well.
It really does not.
It's not a good story.
It's not a good story.
It's it has its moments where it's fun to make fun of it. Mm-hmm. And it even has its moments where it's interesting a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's not a good story.
It's really
It's really a bad story.
It's really a bad story, and it's very frustrating because I love learning stuff. So I'm like, ooh, this is interesting. And then it's like over stupid shit.
But you know what, though? I have to say, if it wasn't a bad story, we wouldn't have as much fun with this.
That's not necessarily true.
Well,
I could make fun of a good story.
Right, but I mean, like...
I could make fun of Twilight.
Right,
Twilight at least had... solid storyline all the way through.
And really,
right?
if we ever do we should do like a live watching of the movie Wings with our.
That's funny.
So, just a quick story here aside.
Yeah. Totally off topic.
Yeah, we watched. We had a thought that we were going to watch all of the Oscar-nominated movies over time. Back. And one of the first ones was Wings, which is like a silent film from like the 1940s or something. And
it used real footage from World War I?
Two.
And
wife basically narrated the whole thing for us.
Oh yeah, I did.
Not what it was actually saying, but what wife wanted it to say.
Well, okay, there were naked butts in it.
There sure were.
And it was a shock.
Our child was like dying.
Scandalized.
I mean, it was great.
Scandalized.
It was hilarious.
To be fair, we were not expecting those butts.
No, we were not. It was quite a long line of 1940s butts.
Yeah.
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 It was, yeah.
But it was a really neat movie, and it was a fun experience. And
it actually was not a half bad movie for
really
a silent
well
movie and the time and all that. So
I could see why it was nominated for an Oscar.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
But it was much more fun and entertaining with the commentary.
It would have been boring without my additions.
I'm just saying. I feel the same way about the Bible. Like, if it didn't have our commentary, then people would be like, this is boring shit. They're just fucking reading the Bible.
I wondered what the connection was. I wasn't there. Okay,
oh, okay.
Now I get it. I get it. Yeah. I make it fun.
Right. Okay. I'm making it fun, too.
But I make it more fun.
I hope I'm making it fun.
You are fun to my fun.
Okay. So I'm only like secondary fun. You're like top notch fun, huh?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're the smarty here. I'm the dum dum.
Well, we're all in trouble then. All right. Well, that was our First Kings Q&A and wrap up. So tomorrow we're going to be back with our Contradictions episode, which my wife so fondly refers to as
"You're always wrong."
Correct. And then we have, like I said the other day, another special episode that we're going to have on Friday. So join us for that. I do want to remind everybody that we will be in Kentucky this weekend, down at the Kentucky Freethought Convention. And just so you're aware, there are still tickets available. It is $10 online or $15 at the door. And we would love, love, love to see you there. And if you do show up, make sure you come to our booth and tell us. And we're handing out free samples of our ungodly brewed coffee. So stop by and see us. Please.
I want to meet you.
Right? Yeah. All right. We'll hopefully see you guys there. If not, we will see you tomorrow for the Contradictions episode.
Yep. Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you know what today is?
It's our Contradictions episode.
Right. And what do we like to call it, Dino?
What do we like to call it?
You're always wrong.
You imply we, but I say you.
No, it's us, because I ask you a question, and then whatever you answer, you're wrong.
No, I meant you like to call it this. I call it the Contradictions episode.
You fed it to me, therefore you like it.
Right, okay. Fair enough.
So that's what we're doing.
Okay. So this is our Contradictions episode, and also the I'm Always Wrong episode for First Kings chapter.
Just
First Kings. Just First Kings.
All the chapters.
All the chapters. Yeah, that. Okay, let's go do this.
Okie dokie. Okay, so you're always wrong.
Yeah, that.
And I have a couple things to say before we get started on how you're always wrong.
Just a couple?
Yeah.
Okay.
So first of all, what I learned is that with the Book of Kings being split into two,
yeah,
that made it hard to find contradictions that were only First Kings and
got it,
and not Second Kings.
Sure.
So
they try to combine the two because it used to be combined, and
right,
it's all kind of one continuous
right.
thing.
And
probably.
Moreover, a lot of the contradictions from First Kings are found in the Book of Chronicles. First and Second Chronicles.
Well, but we can cover those contradictions
sure.
when we get to Chronicles.
Yes,
so,
I just wanted to put it out there that I had a hard time coming up with as many this time because we're only into the first bit of what is really 4 parts of one elongated book, if you ask me.
No, that makes sense.
Because I think First and Second Kings and First and Second Chronicles all kind of goes together.
So these are all going to be contradictions for earlier, which doesn't necessarily match up because we're way past earlier at this point.
Exactly. And that gets into another thing. A couple of these, I think, might be ones that we've done before, but not from First Kings.
Well, I mean,
as one of the contradictory perspectives.
If I could remember what all the contradictions were from even the last, book of the Bible, I mean, I'd be doing very well.
Right.
But I don't. So,
right. So I didn't mind throwing them in there. I thought, man, it's going to be fine.
Right. Maybe somebody just listens to this contradiction. Somebody's just interested in the contradictions in this book. So
true.
Maybe
true.
You never know.
So. You never know. So here's the first question.
Okay.
What were David's last words?
Didn't he sing himself a song or some shit?
Well, he did, but also, you're always wrong.
I'm just impressed that I got that.
Yeah,
I'm impressed. I did not have any reference for that in front of me. I didn't even know to expect that question.
I know.
So I'm like, yeah, I pulled that one out.
You pulled that one out. So he did that in 2 Samuel, the last chapter of 2 Samuel.
Right.
But then in 1 Kings, he provided a hit list.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to off some people. Mm-hmm. He's like, now that I'm dying, you guys need to take vengeance for me.
Yep, Joab being chief among them.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So that happened.
So according to the Bible, that happened.
I'm just saying that contradiction happened.
Yeah, because they were both his last words.
Yep. Okay, next question.
Yep.
What was in the Ark of the Covenant? I thought this one would make you laugh because we literally discussed this recently.
Right.
Which I find so what is the word? I enjoy is what I'm trying to say.
Right, yeah.
When you and I collectively think of something and then later on find out that, no, that's actually a really good question that is commonly asked.
Right, yeah.
It makes me feel like, okay, I'm on the right track. We are doing this right.
We're not the only ones with this question even.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're among the many.
Yeah.
That feels good.
So if you were to ask me what was in the Ark of the Covenant, based on what I know, and I'm just going to collect them all here that I can think of. We got the Book of Instruction by that was written by Moses or whatever. We got the manna in there. I feel like I'm forgetting something now.
You are.
But there's something else that's big.
Aaron's rod, his budding rod.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
That was the other thing.
Okay, all right.
But you're always wrong.
Right, because all they ever fucking talk about is
the tablets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Right.
Yeah.
The tablets were supposed to be okay.
Yep.
But they leave the rest of the shit out.
They do. Everything that you mentioned is in Exodus and Numbers. They talk about those things.
Yeah.
But then in 1 Kings, there was nothing in the ark save the 2 tables of stone, which Moses put there at Horeb. Which I want to say something about Horeb.
Okay.
There was a question on the site that I was referencing.
Yeah.
That said, which mountain did Moses give his speech there, or go up and talk to God?
And it's Mount Horeb / Mount Sinai.
Right, but they cited that as a contradiction because sometimes they refer to it as one and sometimes the other.
But that could just be a name change over time.
Well, we covered that in Asimov's Guide to the Bible.
Oh, okay.
We specifically covered that it's the same mountain.
Right.
And that it's referred to by different things depending on which time period it was written and whether they're going by the original people.
Istanbul was once Constantinople.
It was,
so
right?
I'm just saying.
And the borders that we worked at is now a pet mart. So,
Yeah.
what you gonna do?
And that's nobody's business but the Turks.
Exactly.
So, just saying.
Exactly. So, yeah, that happened also. That contradiction happened.
Right.
Okay. So, this one I found exciting. How should homosexuals be treated according to the Bible?
I would assume that we want to kill them according to the Bible.
Which is horrendous.
Right.
Yes, that was discussed in Leviticus, but guess what?
I'm wrong.
You're always wrong. Because in 1 Kings,
Yeah.
they only get rid of the Sodomites.
So they don't kill them.
They exile them.
Okay.
They don't.
I mean, that's a step forward.
Right.
Social progression there. I'm all for it.
For fuck's sake.
I mean, if we could have kept progressing over the thousands of years, just think of how much faster along we'd be right now. Like, if we're only exiling them in the Jesus time, and then we get to the Jesus time, maybe we, accept them, and then we're already, we don't even have to do all this shit. They're already fucking accepted at this point.
Right, right.
If we progressed correctly.
But instead, now we're in 2022 going backwards.
Right, yeah, no, we're definitely going the wrong way at the moment.
The wrongest way.
Yeah.
Okay, so, next question.
Yeah.
Is it okay to test God?
No.
No? Are you sure?
No.
Well, according to Deuteronomy, that is correct. Ye shall not tempt the Lord your God.
Right.
However.
Yeah, however.
You're always wrong.
Okay.
Because in Judges and 1 Kings, he's perfectly fine being tested. Like in the book of Judges, do you remember when Gideon did the wet versus dry wool? Here, let me just read the King James Version to you.
I'm having a little bit of trouble bringing that up.
It's in Judges chapter 6. And Gideon said unto God, If thou wilt save Israel by mine hand, as thou hast said, behold, I will put a fleece of wool in the floor. And if the dew be on the fleece only, and it be dry upon all the earth beside, then shall I know that thou wilt save Israel by mine hand, as thou hast said. Okay. And it was so, for he rose up early on the morrow, and thrust the fleece together, and wringed the dew out of the fleece, a bowl full of water. And Gideon said unto God, Let not thine anger be hot against me, and I will speak but this once. Let me prove, I pray thee, but this once with the fleece. Let it now be dry only upon the fleece, and upon all the ground let there be dew. And God did so that night, for it was dry upon the fleece only, and there was dew on all the ground.
Okay.
So he did test God.
Got it.
Then that was in Judges, but then in 1 Kings, which we just read, that was the fire lighting contest.
Oh yeah.
Where he was like,
right.
Elijah was like, God, set my wet logs aflame and burn up this wool. Yeah. And the other guys were like, come on, Molech or Baal or who the fuck ever, light our fire, and it never happened.
Right.
So
he was awfully bold to think that was going to happen, having it only happen. God's only been ever tested one other time thus far. Yeah. So, how did he know?
You have to think that he was, told, but, that part didn't make it into the Bible. Or that it didn't happen. Right. That would be my guess.
Yeah, no, obviously we go from, our starting point is none of this shit fucking happened. Right. And it's kind of interesting when we find out that some of it might be somewhat based on truth from the past. Right. That's the part that's cool to me, is finding out, oh, that person might have actually existed, and this, some of this might be based in history. Right. So that's kind of cool.
But super mangled.
It's super mangled. Fucking, torn to shreds mangled.
Yeah, torn asunder mangled. Yeah. Okay, next question. Ready?
I'm ready.
Can God be seen?
No.
No? Are you sure?
I sure as fuck haven't seen the motherfucker.
Well, according to Exodus, you are correct. God is invisible and cannot be seen. And if you do see him, you'll die.
I think that there was a point in Exodus, I thought, that God showed Moses' butt cheek, remember? I thought we specifically covered that bit.
Well, you said no.
Right.
And you're always wrong.
Right.
Because, yes, yes, many people have seen him.
Right.
Abraham saw God several times in the books of Genesis, Exodus, and Acts.
Yeah.
Isaac saw him twice in the books of Genesis and Exodus.
Right.
Jacob saw God face to face and beat him in a wrestling match in the books of Genesis and Exodus.
Right, yeah.
Moses spoke to God face to face and even got a peek at God's butt.
Yeah.
In the books of Exodus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
Right.
God talked face to face to all the people of Israel in the books of Numbers and Deuteronomy.
not just one person, but like all the people of fucking Israel.
And then most recently in 1 Kings, Micaiah saw God sitting on his throne. Although that was questionable because it was a vision. Did it really count? Who fucking knows?
Or it might have just been a story told to get across a point.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Okay, so next question.
Okay.
Is it wrong to lie?
Yes.
Yes. Per the books of Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Keep thee far from a false matter. Mm-hmm. Neither lie one to another. Neither shalt thou bear false witness.
But then I do remember in 1 Kings specifically.
You are always wrong.
I am always wrong.
You're always wrong.
But when he had that vision, I'll let you cover it. But
God rewarded the Egyptian midwives for lying to the Pharaoh in the book of Exodus.
Right.
Just so that we have that out there.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
And then, as you said, in 1 Kings, which we just finished reading, God put lying spirits in the mouths of his prophets.
Right.
So, that happened.
It's bullshit, God.
That is bullshit. Saying. What are you doing, God?
You, this is your book, man. You have all the editing rights. And you did not fix these errors. And there have been so many fucking errors that were creating an entire series of I'm always wrong. So you fucked up.
You know what I noticed this time around, which I did not fucking appreciate?
What's that?
You kept saying no or yes. And then after I said it, instead of letting me play my game, then you were like, but wait, I know the other answer.
I do, though, sometimes.
But that's not the way we play this game.
All right.
This game is you're always wrong. And so you have to pick one answer, stick to it, and be wrong.
I promise I will be wrong more in the next I'm Always Wrong episode.
You have to be 100% wrong.
I will be 100% wrong in the
next
episode.
That's how these episodes work. That's how the game goes.
I get it. I understand the rules now.
You're always wrong. Okay?
Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye. Oh, wait.
Oh, you got more?
Well, no, we're getting really close to the Kentucky Freethought Convention.
Oh, we really are.
And I wanted to make a point of mentioning it in every episode this week. So, Saturday the 3rd, which today is Friday? No, Thursday. Shit.
Today's Thursday, my love.
It's Thursday for you guys.
Yeah,
so,
it's Wednesday for us.
It's Wednesday for us,
That's always so confusing.
It really is. So anyway, Saturday the 3rd, we are going to be down in Louisville, Kentucky for the Kentucky Freethought Convention, and we will have a table set up there, and we would love to see you guys there. So if you are able to make it, the tickets are only $10 online right now and $15 at the door.
Look for our table. We will be selling Ungodly Brew and repping Sacrilegious Discourse.
That's right. And if you mention that you heard this on our podcast, you will get a free sample of Ungodly Brew coffee. So definitely stop by and get your free coffee.
And you guys, I just was packing some of this shit up to take with us, and it smells so good.
It is good.
It is good. It tastes good. It's delicious, and it smells divine.
That's right.
Our whole office smells like this delicious coffee.
As the tagline goes, it's hellishly good coffee.
It is hellishly good, and it's hellishly aromatic-y. This all stays. Okay.
Oh,
so
God.
We'll see you guys Saturday, and we'll have something for you tomorrow. We're not really sure. It'll be some special episode kind of thing.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're doing.
Right.
But you should know that by now.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys tomorrow then, and maybe Saturday.
Yeah, hope Saturday.
Really hope Saturday.
You better show up, guys.
You fuckers better get there.
You better get there.
In the nicest way possible.
Right.
You're not fuckers.
You're not fuckers. But I mean, in a very, like, friendly, we love you kind of way. Of course you're fuckers.
Right, yeah. So we love you.
Yeah.
And bye.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
The fuck are we doing?
So we are going to have a special episode today about the Kentucky Freethought Convention that we will be at tomorrow on Saturday the 3rd.
In Kentucky.
In Kentucky.
In Louisville.
In Louisville.
Did I say it right?
I think it's Louisville.
Louisville?
I'm not sure.
I'm sorry.
Something like that.
I'm bad at Louisville.
We don't live that far away from it. Damn.
I know. It's what, 3 hours away from us or something?
Just under, yeah. It's like 2.5 hours. So we'll be driving down there really fucking early on Saturday morning.
Didn't you say we have to leave at like 3 a.m.?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It really, really is, yeah.
I'm allergic to the AM.
Something I didn't tell you, though, I think what we're going to do on the way down, we might kind of like live tweet our adventure and then throughout the day.
Oh,
like
live tweet.
We'll kind of do updates on our Sacrilegious, Discourse Twitter page.
Okay.
And like keep people up to date as far as what we're doing, what's going on, where we're at, made it safe.
Or happens.
Everybody's going to be on the edge of their seat wondering if we made it to Louisville safe.
Right.
Yeah. And then of course back out of Louisville safe.
The responsibility,
right?
Because that'll fall on me while you're driving.
Right, yeah.
Can wife do it? Stay tuned.
I mean, I just need you to take pictures of road signs and shit,
True.
So, but what we're going to do today, we're just going to go over a little bit about who's going to be speaking at the conference. And
Not us.
Not us, but we will have a table there. And, of course, we've been covering this all week. If you guys stop by our table, we will be giving out free samples of Ungodly Brew. And then...
that's coffee.
That's coffee, yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
It's
coffee.
Yes.
It's delicious.
Right. Actually...
Our whole house smells like coffee right now.
I kind of just went right into things, so I'm going to go ahead and stop for just a minute. We're going to go ahead and break and go past the intro and into the main section. And then we'll kind of start back over there.
Sorry, I forgot.
No, I forgot too.
Oops.
I got so excited about the whole thing, I was just ready to say it all.
Okay.
So, all right. We'll see you guys after the Ungodly Brew ad. Yeah.
Okay, so we pretty much said everything there is to say in the intro, right?
Well, I mean, I introed everything there is to say in the intro.
Okay.
So I don't know that I said everything that there is to say in the intro.
You have more words for us?
I do. Like I said, we're going to be going over who's speaking. We're going to go over the schedule, some ins and outs about the conference and where you can park and, different things like that, costs and all that. But right now, what I want to cover, because we've been working our asses off the last few days to get ready for this thing, we are going to be down there at our table, and it is going to be a Sacrilegious Discourse table and an Ungodly Brew coffee table. And as we said, we'll be giving out free samples of coffee to anybody that mentions that they heard this on our podcast.
Yep.
And, of course, we'll be selling samples and bags of coffee and T-shirts while we're down there as well. We have some Sacrilegious Discourse T-shirts and some Ungodly Brew T-shirts.
True.
And if we run out, we're taking orders too.
Yes,
So, just in case you guys make a run on us or something.
I'm expecting
you guys all better be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Living
in California is not an excuse.
Living out of the United States,
right.
Not an
I don't
excuse.
care if you're in Germany. You need to make a trip over here. Okay?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what we're going to be doing there. We also plan on going to, there's going to be a dinner afterwards that we're going to, and then also there's an after party at 8:30, which is going to be at 4th Street Live. So if anybody can't make the actual event and you're, working during the day, come see us at the after party at 4th Street Live. We'll be there as well. And we can't wait to see everybody there and say hi to you. So.
Yeah, I'm going to have a drink in my hand.
Right, yeah. We'll be drunk husband and wife.
Ooh, because we got a hotel and we're staying there.
Yeah.
So we don't have to drive.
Yeah, and we can walk everywhere. It's really cool. Like, everything that we're doing is, like, all in this little, like, half-mile area. At least that's what it shows on the map. I'm sure we'll get there and be like, God damn, why are we walking again?
I know. I thought about getting my toenails done for this event because I'm so excited. And then I remembered that we'd be walking, which means I'll be wearing sneakers the whole time. And I was like, well, guess I don't have any reason to get my toenails done.
Right. All right, so what I was going to go over here today, and I've got to find it on my There we go. Okay, I was going to go over the schedule and kind of like some different things about the event so everybody knows what to expect if you are planning on going, and who's going to be speaking when, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm actually excited about this because although I know how to access the schedule, I haven't actually done so yet. So please do elucidate.
Sure, yeah. So, again, this is September 3rd, Saturday, tomorrow.
Right.
If you're listening to this on the day it came out. And registration will open at 7:30 a.m. They will have the opening comments, welcomes, and rules at 9 a.m. And then the first actual speaker is going to start speaking around 9:55, and that would be Monica Burns. Monica Burns is a chapter organizer of the Black Nonbelievers of Louisville, and co-host of Blasphemy in the Bluegrass. I tried to find her on Twitter, but I couldn't. So if anybody has a Twitter thing to find her at, let me know.
It's handle.
Yeah, thing, whatever. I'm old. Who cares? It is what it is,
If you're old, I'm ancient because I'm older than you are, honey.
But if anybody knows where to find her on Twitter, please let me know. So I found everybody else. But and I'm going to put notes in the comments for everybody's Twitter handles, and I'll put a link to the Kentucky Freethought Convention as well.
Cool.
I should mention right now that tickets are still on sale today online at a discounted price of $10 if you buy them online before you show up. So you definitely head over to KentuckyFreeThoughtConvention.org and get your tickets. If you do get them at the door, they are $15, so it's not that bad, and that's how much it costs to get in.
Right.
And I think the after party is just an after party, so I don't know if there's a cover. No one said anything about any cost on that, so hopefully that's free.
Bring your
ID,
other
than the alcohol,
right.
Bring your ID, right. And then at 10:30, Hemant Mehta, and I actually got a pronunciation because I wasn't entirely sure how to pronounce his name. I know him. I see him all over the damn place. And, something that some of our fans know, we never really were that involved in the atheist and secular community before we got into this podcast, but it's hard to miss some of these people, and this is one of those people that is really out there, big name, and there's a lot of people that are going to be there to see him, I'm sure. He, of course, is the founder and editor of FriendlyAtheist.com. He's a YouTube creator and a podcast co-host. A lot of people actually know him because he made an appearance on Jeopardy in 2020.
Oh.
So he's, got some fame from that. That was apparently his first TV appearance, ever. Was on Jeopardy. At least that's what I saw. I don't know. I've never talked to him, so I can't confirm that. But
I never got to go on Jeopardy.
Me either. I think that's a crock of shit.
I always wanted to go on The Price is Right.
You did?
No,
really? That's a lot of excitement over like fucking blenders and shit.
I'm just kidding.
I never. Yeah.
No, Wheel of Fortune. That's the
Wheel
one.
Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, because I always like solving those puzzles. And I got really mad at. Oh my god! Did you ever see that video where they show the words and like they can't solve, and you're just like.
And there's only one letter.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
guys.
The one that killed me was a feather in my cap.
Yeah.
And the lady said lap. And somebody else said map, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? What is wrong with you?"
Oh, that's great.
Okay, sorry.
No,
Nothing.
that's right.
Go
on. So the next speaker will be at 11:20, and that will be Candace Gorham. And Candace Gorham is a licensed professional counselor with a background in middle and high school education, a former evangelical minister, and she founded the Ebony Exodus Project. And that was to explore record numbers of black women who were leaving the church, and in 2013 she published the Ebony Exodus Project. And then she's also she's on the advisory council of the Black Humanist Alliance of the American Humanist Association, and is a member of the Secular Therapist Project and the Clergy Project. So she's got a lot of things going on.
I am really enjoying the number of people of color that are in this group. That is really cool to me.
Yeah, definitely. No, I
in my mind, it seems like they're just all old white guys, honestly. Sorry, not trying to,
that fits me, I guess, so.
But, like, all I can imagine is, like, people that look like your dad.
Right, yeah.
Like, just college... old stogie fogey guys.
Right. With the what do you call those kind of hats? The
fedoras.
Yeah, fedoras. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So I'm just saying it's really cool that yay.
Right. Yeah. Next up, speaking will be at 11:55, and that will be Nick Fish, and he is currently the president of the American Atheists, and he's got a lot of things that he's done with civil rights and civil liberties as an activist over more than a decade, and done a lot of organizing and has a lot of leadership experience. So that'll probably be a good talk, and he's pretty active on the social medias and all those things.
Okay,
the good stuff.
I think I've heard his name before.
I definitely know who he is. So I'll be interested to meet / hear from him too. I mean, I don't really know any of these people. Like, I know of some of them, but I haven't reached out enough to interact with a lot of them or know their formats and what they're talking about right now. And that's my bad, but I've got a lot of stuff going on, and this is a very, we spend a lot of time doing this podcast, and the rest of the time I have is work, you know?
Right.
So it's really hard to branch out sometimes, and this is that. We're really excited, though. This
gives us an opportunity to meet and interact with other atheists that are actually out there in the world that we wouldn't otherwise have an opportunity or a reason, honestly, to seek them out and hear them and see what they're about.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very excited about this, so I'm really looking forward to it. At 2:30, Phil Zuckerman will be talking, and he is the Associate Dean / Professor of Sociology at Pitzer College, and also an author. He's got several books that he's written, and it sounds like, based on what I read about him, he knows a lot about his shit that he's going to be talking about.
All right. I mean, I would hope so.
I mean,
unlike us,
I could go through and list off all the books, but it's like a long list, and I'm like, yeah, he's got his shit together. He knows what he's doing. He knows stuff.
Unlike us, we
don't
not know our shit.
Yeah,
we do not know stuff.
We do not.
We know nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
I remember, I'm sorry, I keep going off topic here, but my job here for this episode was just to chime in.
Yeah.
And I remember that you said something like how you were worried because everybody's going to be so smart, and then we're just a couple of dum-dums.
And here we are just bumbling through this, yeah, they're smart, and, we're not, so there.
They know stuff. Yeah. So, once again...
smart is relative, but when you're, talking about somebody that's written multiple books, I'm like...
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know, he's obviously done a lot more research than I have, so...
Right.
That's definitely got to be the case.
But, I mean, I'll just put it out there again, a reminder that we are not scholars or academics, and that is not our role in all of this. We are just trying to read the Bible, get through it, and learn a thing or two.
I'm not saying we're dumb. We're not dumb.
Oh, we are kind of dumb. And I'm fine with that.
Whatever.
I'm fine saying I don't know stuff.
Okay. That's fine. I don't know stuff, too. But...
Yay. I love ya.
I love you.
Aw.
All right. At 3:05, we have our next speaker, which is Jeremiah Kamara. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And... he is the author of the books Holy Lockdown, Does the Church Limit Black Progress, and the new Doubting Thomas, The Bible, Black Folks, and Blind Belief. He also has some films out that he's been doing, and I think his current project is actually called Holy Hierarchy, and it's the religious roots of racism in America. And he's got a lot of really cool projects that he's working on right now, and I really am looking forward to hearing from him. And looking into his stuff, because I mean it looks really, really cool. So I'm interested in that for sure. After him, there's going to be the next speaker will be at 3:55 p.m. and most of you are probably going to know this name. It's Aaron Ra.
Okay.
And it was one of the first ones I came across when I jumped into the Twitter sphere, and he is a he's famous. He's a famous YouTuber. He's a secular activist. He advocates for reason and education. He serves on the national board of the American Atheists. And he talks a lot about creation and evolution in the podcasts that I've heard him talk about. I have actually listened to a few of his podcasts, and it's very interesting. It's not always religious based, but it's scientific based, and he does go down religious tangents, I think, sometimes too. But I can't say I've listened to everything he's done, but I've listened to a lot, and I know that we have some friends that are really sad they're not going to be here because they really wanted to see him.
Just going to say my best friend's brother, when I mentioned what we were doing, and then I told him who was going to be there, he flipped his wig and was like, I gotta go. And then I told him when it was, and he was bummed because he already had purchased.
He's gonna go see was it Rammstein?
Yeah.
Rammstein, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, dude, come on, man.
But this concert has been put off for 3 years now.
Yeah.
And so he's like really excited. And he was like, if it was any other weekend, my
Right,
God.
right.
Yeah. He like was so upset that it's the same weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, Aaron Raw, apparently, he is a big name.
He definitely is. He definitely is. And then at 4:30, this will be the last speaker before the closing remarks for the day. The speaker is Dan Barker. And Dan Barker was PR director for the Freedom from Religion Foundation from 1987 to 2004. He was elected co-president of the foundation with Annie Laurie Gaylor in 2004, with whom he is co-host of Freethought Radio, a national weekly talk show. So he's been in this community and doing things and doing a lot for many, many years. So I'm sure he'll have some really great things to talk about. And I'll definitely look forward to hearing what he has to say too. After that, we've got the dinner, which I don't know. There's no tickets left for that one right now, and that's at 6. But then the after party starts at 8:30 at 4th Street Live. And then if you guys are planning on coming down to Louisville, if you still have time to reserve a room, and if there are still rooms available, look for the block of rooms at the Courtyard by Marriott in Louisville downtown, and they've got a block there. It's only going to be $139 a night. And it's a really great price for the downtown area there. So definitely check that out. And then there's parking nearby at the Calger Garage. And that's at 329 West Market Street on the corner of 4th and Market. And it's only, like, for 24 hours, it's $10. So, I mean, those are, in my opinion, that's a great rate.
Yeah.
Like, you can't beat that.
Mm-mm.
So, definitely... That's basically the gist of it. That's what's going on. That's what we're going to be doing on that day, and I really, really, really want to talk to some fans. I want to see some people, at least somebody from Twitter. I mean, somebody's got to be coming to this thing, right? Somebody that knows our name, like, hey, I heard about you guys somewhere. Somebody's got to say that. Like, somebody, I'll just die a little bit. Like, it'll be the first time. It'll be the first time that'll ever happen.
Right.
If you show up and you tell us, hey, I really like your podcast, we're just going to, faint right there.
Cry.
Going to fall over and just, collapse.
I'll cry.
In the moment, right?
I'll get so teary-eyed.
Right,
And then I'll be angry because I'll have makeup on, and it'll
ruin the whole day.
My mascara.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for ruining the fucking day.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, way to go. No, I mean, seriously, no, come see us.
Yes, please. Please come see us. Seriously, I am as excited at the prospect of potentially meeting a fan as I am at meeting all of these other big name atheists and listening to all of the interesting and educational things that they're going to be saying. I would say more so. I really like just talking to people that, we have something to talk about. You listen to our podcast, we do our podcast. There, we got a thing. We got a thing. So let's talk about it. Yeah, you guys. That's right. All right. Well, that's really all we were talking about today. We're kind of really excited about going down to this thing. We really want to see some of you there. So we thought we'd do a little promo shout out for the Freethought Convention down in Louisville. I'm so excited. I am too. All right. Well, that's it for today. We are taking a break from our podcast tomorrow because obviously we're going to be at the convention. And then we'll be back on Sunday with the... what is it? You looked at me and I'm like, oh, what? It's the book club. Oh, with Sacrilegious Book Club. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, I didn't know. You didn't know? You didn't cue me up for that. I'm sorry. I just, I thought Sunday, Sunday is a book club. I know, I wasn't prepared mentally. All right, and then Monday we'll obviously be back with a new book of the Bible. Starting 2 Kings, chapter 1. So that's exciting too. Mm-hmm. All right, well, we'll see you guys hopefully down at the convention. Yep. Bye. Bye. Hey, wife, I guess that's the end? But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.